You are your personal brand. Everyone is talking about personal branding in 2026, and I want to talk about it too from a more grounded and rooted and human and down to earth perspective, as I believe. So, hello, my name is Joanna Fatonji. I am a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute, and I am licensed to take people through programs that have been developed over 40 years by my mentor, proven, tested, tried. And this concept, these programs have helped thousands of people all around the world create real life results, including in my own life. And today, I want to talk to you how I got here. So, I am the child of a German working class mother and a Ghanaian migrant to Germany, uneducated, working class. And my parents have done their best to, yeah, give me what I had. And I was the first who went on to higher education. I studied international business and culture studies, and I went on to work in corporate, and I very quickly realized that that was not my route. I already knew that I had so much more to give and that I want to help people live their best life. So I continued to become a holistic nutritionist, and then the first time really investing in my personal and business development was when I became a licensed Dream Builder coach, and then later on a life mastery consultant. That has been 10 years ago now, and the road hasn't always been so easy, but I want to share with you what you need to know in order to really build a authority brand. This is the kind of woman that I'm speaking to, because if you're like me, you're educated, you're an academic, you have worked in corporate, or you have had your own business, maybe in your profession, maybe as a lawyer, as a consultant, as well as a business person working in sales. Like, this is the kind of woman that I usually attract. And this is also who I'm continuing to speak to. You're the first, you're a leader, you have gone first, and you have always dared to take risk. And maybe now you also want to build an online brand, but not as an influencer, but really as an authority online. And today I want to talk to you about number one, your personal brand, and what this actually consists of in order to build a know, like, and trust factor so people will continue to not only consume your content, but also to invest with you to go deeper into your expertise. I will talk to you about the times that we're in, because I think it's very important to know the context of the times that we are in. Then I will talk to you about, yeah, what platform to use and how to show up in order to actually build something sustainable. I like to call it brick by brick, right? Actually building something, building a body of work, and building something that gives you the authority and the credibility that you want to be known for. Again, we're not talking about being an influencer. We're not even talking about being an online creator. We're talking about someone who has real life expertise. And because in today's day and age, the internet or social media, and especially YouTube, are platforms where people are looking for real life solution. This is the new marketplace. This is the new advertising marketplace or platform. And if you are a real life value bringer, you want to use it. Okay. So, coming from that standpoint, again, I want to talk a little bit more about myself, just to demonstrate again what it is that you want to tell your audience. So, building an authority brand is not about sharing your trauma or necessarily sharing things that you're not interested in sharing. If you want to share things like your food or your health routine because it's part of your brand, it certainly is for me, because I'm a life coach, right? I'm a life mastery consultant. And I think it's definitely a part of creating a life, a holistic life of value and prosperity and worth and abundance. It is definitely also health. But if you don't want to do that, that's fine too. But what are the three things that you need to actually share? So, number one, you want to share where you come from because people like to identify with people and brands that they can identify with, right? As I just shared in the beginning, I'm the child of a German working class mother and a Ghanaian immigrant to Germany. My parents have worked their whole life. My mother has really done a very good job in getting to the next level. She became a leader in her industry. She is also a salesperson, or she's a manager. She actually was a leader in the like the plant section in DIY homes, like where you buy everything for the house and the plants and all of that. My mom chose her route. She loves plants. She's a gardener. That's why you also see a lot of flowers in my branding. And my mom was a great example for me. So I feel like I'm standing on her shoulders. And in terms of career wise, I am standing on the shoulders of my mentor. As I said, 40 plus years, maybe even today, it's 50 plus years of experience in how to actually help people transform their lives, right? In all areas of their lives. So, that's a little bit about me. Number one, where do I come from? Being the first academic, being the first um, business builder in my family, and being the first who actually really deals with the subconscious mind, right? How to break habits, how to break generational curses. And the next thing is, what are the challenges that I had to overcome? It is definitely rooted in the story. It is the mindset of, who do I have to become? The identity, right? Who am I really? Who do I have to become in order to fulfill my destiny? That's how I would like to call it. And no longer tying my identity only to, yeah, being the child of a working class mother, being the child of a uneducated Ghanaian immigrant to Germany. Who am I? Am I an academic only? No, I'm all of that, right? And I'm going to break it down to the essential, and that is, I am a spiritual being having a human experience, and so are you. And in this understanding, I believe lies the ability that we can become every identity that we choose to be and build, because the identity that you're building, it doesn't only come from you telling yourself that you're now this identity, but it's about building the identity, being the person that you decided to be with your thinking, with your feeling, with your actions, and then with your results, right? This is the formula to create new results. Identity work, identity shifting. You are an entrepreneur, you are online, you are building $1 million business or beyond, right? And it is rooted in your spirit. And you align your identity with your mind. That means you think like a millionaire, you think like somebody who is worthy to create the life that you've been called to create. You think like that, you act like that, right? You create those micro habits daily, daily, daily in all aspects of your life. And then doing the work will create the confidence, the competence, and then therefore the results. Okay, so this is definitely part of my work as well, but I'm also sharing this with you because this is what you also will have to do. And what are the challenges that I had to overcome? To be very exact, is the identity. Like, where do I belong? Who are my people now? Am I like betraying my black side when I'm now leaning into like wealth and abundance consciousness? Am I betraying my working class identity, right? Am I betraying um, my academic identity, being an entrepreneur? Like all of these identities that we have built, but just to leave them behind, they had to go. And this led me definitely into a lot of chaos because I didn't know like who to attach myself with until I realized I don't have to attach myself to anybody, not to a man, not to a group of people, whether it's ethnicity or whether it is some kind of social class. No, I have been through the individuation process. The individuation process means that I have come to become my whole self. Like I am an individual, right? I am an individual and I am here to help others with a dream in their heart, right? With others who want more for themselves, not only more material, but want to experience life in a deeper, meaningful way, knowing that they have something to give. Very important, knowing that they have something to give. And on that journey, and you can also call it like the chosen one's journey or just a journey of transformation, I lost everything, right? I lost friends, I lost family. Like literally, my dad died along this journey. He died 2 years ago. I lost my own old identities. I have been in toxic relationships, definitely, like where it wasn't aligned with who I was becoming. And this has been a painful journey. That's why I said it is not always glamorous, and I'm not going to speak from a place of everything is funny and so cute. No, this journey actually requires some maturity and some groundedness, yeah, and also just you really focusing on rooting in this new identity with slow baby steps, not the quantum leap, not the 10xing. I'm speaking about slow building. Okay, good. So, as you can hear, I have faced a lot of challenges. The last challenge that I had to overcome was coming out of 25,000 euros debt. And I'm going to speak more about that as well and how good that was, right? We're talking about bouncing back. We're talking about actually building from rock bottom, because building from rock bottom is the best ground that you can build from. It is solid. So I've been through all of it, the whole shedding of all of the layers that weren't built on the real foundation. But what are the results that I've created? So the results that I have created is, as I said, the receipts in the background. Like I'm an academic, right? I have worked in corporate. I have worked for like, yeah, one of the biggest tech companies, and I've been a high achiever. I've been a high performer, but I've always had this dream, and my real calling is to be a life coach. And especially seeing what's going on in the online space, I actually feel even more confident to create value, because what I've experienced now, it doesn't only come from like the shiny object syndrome. I've been there. I've been led astray by fast money. I've lost money in crypto scams. I've been led astray by the wrong partners, like shiny objects. Maybe this man is going to save me, or this man is gonna yeah, probably save me, or he's gonna validate me that I am a high value woman. All of those things, I've shed all of those things, right? Like all of those things are gone now. So I am here in a very rooted, grounded, authentic, but also in my authority, because I know exactly what it is that I have to share. I'm sharing that for you to realize you have a story like that too, right? So, but just coming back to the results, I have built a six-figure online coaching business. I have worked with lawyers, with influencers, with business builders, with people on TV, with rappers, with influencers, like people on a public stage, founders also in the space of anti discrimination, um, building also a tech app around anti-discrimination. So obviously I'm still Black, right? So I'm still aware of societal things and problems and all of that, and helping other people create the inner foundation and the systems in order to actually lift the heavy load of building a legacy business. I believe that's where I come in. It's about real deep rooted foundation. Okay. So with that being said, um, I have also been like part of the Miss Germany cohort in 2023, becoming a top 20 in the Germany cast. Miss Germany is about women who create impact in society. Okay, that's enough about me. Good. So, why I'm saying that again is you want to build a personal brand about around who you truly are. And if you have done the work, whether it is your academia, whether it is a own practice, whether it is a corporate role, or whatever is under your belt already, successes and losses both are fundamental, right? Both are very fundamental in order for you to claim your authority. Because if it was easy, if it would have been easy all the time, you wouldn't be here like in your grounded humanity, but still in your excellence. Because that is the kind of person that I believe that you are, is very grounded, but still in your excellence. So that's what you need to also tell other people, right? What are your results? What have you already created? Even if you tear that down, what have you created in your life, right? What have you built already? Good. Then you want to talk about the experiences that you've gathered, that you've collected along the journey, whether it's losses, challenges, breakdowns, right? Also rebuilding from rock bottom. That is actually very valuable to your hero's journey. People want to hear that. People want to hear that you fucked up, right? People want to hear that you messed up, that you fucked up. As I said, especially, I believe also that's like kind of my archetype, that a beautiful woman, very a lot beautiful, successful, smart, spirited women, women who know that they have something in them. Most of the time, those women go through the heaviest narcissistic abuse, or whatever we want to call it, right? Like we attach ourselves to people who we think are going to save us. Yeah, I've been through that too. As I said, I've hit rock bottom financially. Like I've been through all of that, and people want to know your story too. People want to know who you are, what you've been through the mud. That is actually your credential. Like this is actually your rising phoenix story. So don't feel ashamed to share the things that made you look like a failure, right? So we want to go through that, and then we want to come back in our authority, as I said. So number one, what are your results, right? What are your challenges that you've overcome, and what are the skills that you know that you know that you know that you know nobody can take away from you? Okay, so for me it is speaking, for me it is sales, for me it is, I believe it is building trust, honestly, because I am a very trustworthy person. And that has been the pull also for me to know I am a life coach. Like people come to me, they tell me their deepest secrets, they tell me their fears, but they also tell me their dreams, because they can feel that I can hold it. I can hold the full spectrum. So, what is it for you? What do people come to you for? What is your natural authority? Yeah, that is your personal brand. Just like I want to show as I go that this is how you can do it. Like it was a little messy, it was a little unpolished, but that's a real life conversation, right? Like not everything is always scripted, and I believe that this is actually the advantage that I have, that you might have in this day and age now with AI, right? Everybody now can build a script with ChatGPT or with Claude or whatever. But I personally, I love watching people who are more authentic, where it feels like a real life conversation. And this is the authentic people that we want to actually attract into our businesses. So with that being said, that is your personal brand. You are your personal brand. What are your values? What are you standing for? Do you know like who you are you like unshakable by like the shiny object or the nervous system, right? Like these are things I hope you understand, but I think you might are familiar with these words, right? Like we're no longer distracted because we know that there is nothing out there, right? We have to build. Like there's no shortcut. There are systems, there are formulas that are proven, definitely, that make it more elegant. And that's exactly the kind of process and proven repeatable system that I'm working with too. Like it has helped my mentor generate over millions, even I don't know, maybe she might be in the billions now, because it works, right? It's a system, it works, but you got to work it. But we don't want to be the chicken with the head cut off in this season. No, it's grounded, it's slow, it's authentic, it's rooted in your authority. Okay, so what are your results? What are the challenges that you've overcome? And also, what are the skills that nobody can take from you? Good, good. So with that being said, I want to transition into the second topic. It is just being aware of the times, right? Because if you're like me, you are very aware of not only the internal things, but also the real life things, right? Like what is actually going on in the world with all of the negativity, including war, and just us seeing some madness. Like, let's be real, it's just a madness. And but the underlying theme, and this is where I believe, and this is where I'm also highly informed in, is spiritual principles and also like the predictions of the time, whether it's astrological or even the shift of the age that we're in, right? Because even in the past, there have been different ages, right? The Bronze Age, right? The Metal Age, and then the agricultural age, and then the industrial age that we're now coming out of. We're now in the digital age, right? And beyond that is going to be the identity age, which comes with the digital age, because so many people are losing their jobs. There is no job security like that. I am 36 now, and this is also the switch of the times. And this is why I believe you can't, like, maybe your parents or like they wanted you to have this traditional career path because they have established something and they thought, okay, like the linear path would be okay. Now my child is an academic, that is already like the next level. So they are going to have either this great corporate career, or they're going to be in law or in engineering or in whatever, like, quote unquote high level position. But we, like the millennials, I'm a millennial, 36 now, but we have, like, we already grew up with the digital age. Like we grew up with the internet. I certainly did. Like from around 10 years we had internet. I've been in it since then. um but really forging that as a professional career path, right? Not just playing, which is also amazing. I think it should be part of it, but also really establishing us as a human, as a professional, as a leader of the new times. It is about realizing that the maybe even from our personal design, like we like security and we like formal structures and we understand like the etiquette of doing real business, but these jobs are no longer secure. It's super exhausting. We feel like we do not fit. Maybe even like we lose jobs because we don't really fit into the full hustle culture anymore. And the thing is, the work that I've done in the past 10 years was identity work, as I said in the beginning, right? It's really realizing that you have to be able to switch up to adapt to the time and not lose your values that are more rooted maybe in the old times. I hope it makes sense, right? So the switch from the industrial age to now the identity age, which is kind of built inside the digital age. It is about you realizing that you are still a trustworthy person, that you're still a how do I call it, like still a serious person, or you understand what's going on in the real world, let's call it that, but with also taking advantage of the digital world and adapting your identity to it, right? Adapting your identity and adapting your systems to create a real business in this new identity age, right? That's why, as I said, we have to let go of all of those old identities, the lineage or the legacy that we might have wanted to continue coming from our ancestors, right? Coming from our family. As I said, I came from a migrant, somehow like the child of a migrant and the child of a working class woman, but who has worked her way up to the top and also now lives off her investment portfolio and dividends. So that's where I come from. And then my journey should have been like being in corporate and things like that. But letting that go, right? Letting that go and realizing that you can still build a real thing, just knowing who you are online. Clear? And it doesn't always only have to be online. It can be everywhere. It can be in the real world. It can be, yeah, it can be everywhere. But just knowing that it takes identity work in order to not feel lost in the sauce, because you are no longer your job. You're no longer a lawyer. You're no longer a corporate baddie. You're no longer a like this typical academic kind of personality. So this is where we are. Like, we're changing, the times are changing. This is where it's at, right? This is where it's at. So we just want to learn how we position ourselves from a real, rooted, authentic, authoritative um, energy. Yeah. So I think that's everything I want to say. We want to move in context. It's not that I'm not obliterate to what's going on in in the world. And I know that you are also not, you're very aware. Okay? So changing that and putting yourself, your identity, your ability to show up as you, as your authentic self, right? But also as a persona, because you are coming on here as a business person. Yeah. Okay. So then I want to go to, um, yeah, maybe that's it. Like, again, coming to building a system around you and your story, because again, there's a strategy behind that. You want to build trust, just like in the real world. People build trust with people that have the same values. People build trust with the people who just feel safe, who have a moral code or a way to do business, right? Who are reliable, who do what they say, right? So we want to build trust on the online platform as well. And at the same time, people also do business with people that they have things in common with in terms of fun, right? I have, like, as I said, I'm a like black woman in Germany, but I am the child of a German mother. So I've never put myself in a box. So obviously I've been around a lot of white people, and this is what I know, like the bro club, right? The white man's club or whatever, like especially men. I think men have a more of a business collective culture that merges with their private life. So you go to a business event to watch football, or you go to a concert with a client, or you go to the Oktoberfest, right? You go to the Oktoberfest and you drink beer, or I live in Cologne. So and people go to carnival, they dress up, and that's something that people strategically engage in because like we want to have fun, but this is also where the trust is built to actually do business. That's just how it works, right? So, and this is the same thing online, right? You want to show up with a few things that make you like people understand who you are or what you like, because if people don't really understand that you come from maybe a similar culture or a similar set of values, or you move in the same spaces, there is no business happening. Yeah, we know that in the real world. And the same thing has to be transmitted with your online presence. So show a little bit about yourself, what you like. But honestly, this could also be with your backdrop, right? I think my backdrop tells a lot about me. I am, I consider myself a well traveled, well read, a woman who has been immersed in different cultures. And that's who I am, right? And I want to show that with my backdrop. You can do the same. Okay, so show a little bit personality. Very important. So show us who you are, what you love. And I also want to imply a very simple concept. um, Building even a 6 figure or 7 figure and beyond online brand still comes down to a very simple principle, and it is each one teach one. The marketplace of life will never change. It's a marketplace, right? Like, this is my little corner of the universe, and this is what I have to offer. I offer helping people to get to the root of their identity, release all of the limiting beliefs, but also like old trauma and childhood stories and subconscious programming, rewiring subconscious programming, healing the nervous system, right? Attuning it to feel safe in the global marketplace, building structures, building systems. This is what I do, especially for highly professional and high achieving people. So I want to still break it down to the most simple things, right? It's each one teach one. This is my expertise. I'm here. I can help you do that with like smaller offers, and then also ultimately like the bigger offers where we can go really into the depth of things. Yeah. So the same thing goes for you. Don't take yourself too serious, right? That's just really, I think that's really what I'm trying to communicate here. Like, don't take yourself too serious, just like somebody who builds a real life business. It's not too much about your aesthetic. People who are looking for a service will find you if you are sharp and clear on what it is that you communicate. Okay, this is my offer, this is what I do. And okay, then people will decide, yeah, I like your nose, I like how you smell, we have the same values, you look like a trustworthy person. I'm gonna buy your service. Okay, so let's go. Each one teach one. That's why I heavily believe in online presence, online authority, building a body of work, and also having real programs in the back end, like something that will really create results. Yeah. So that's it. And that's the now one, two, three, maybe the fourth thing I want to share is to build the system. Okay. Very easy. If you want to learn more, let's talk on a strategy session and then decide how I can help you actually build a solid system. But a system is not here to limit you. And I believe I've heard many things on the internet as well. There are definitely different energy types and different people types, right? Just like since the beginning of time, we have like human design and the gene keys and the Mayer's bricks and all of that, right? Yes, sure, we all have different energy types, and I believe in all of those things and they make sense. And still I believe that you have to have a system around the way you show up, that actually leads to something, because nobody wants to just, like, again, I'm not talking about here, I'm not talking to influencers. I'm not talking to influencers. I'm talking to business people. I'm talking to business owners. Yeah. So you want to show up on social media with your gift, even if it's a spiritual gift, right? With your gift, with your intuition, with your craft, with your insight, with your psychology, with your knowledge on different subjects, whatever your expertise is on. But you also, let's be real, you want to convert clients. Yeah. So you want to build a system. One of the system that I'm using that you can use too is exactly what I said. Build a body of work, build authority with YouTube videos. Yeah, that's the platform that we're using 2025 and beyond, because it shows the know, like, trust factor. People get to know you. And it's just the most solid way to share your expertise, but also your energy and your personality. Yeah. So build a system, record those videos, but also invite people into more of a private, more of an intimate container. That could be a workshop or a seminar or a webinar. And then from there, you invite them into a, like, the lowest offer. It could be from 1,500 to 5,000 euro or dollars. Like, that is the expert model that I'm using. You can also start with something smaller here in the beginning, so people build trust in on your expertise if they actually invest. So you can have something free, you can have something low ticket, and then you can buy or help people make the decision to buy and invest in their solution with you, with a more longer term program that is more robust, right? More information, more structure, real tools, and yeah, something that actually leads to a fundamental change, right? But people need a little sampling. We also know that from the real life, right? People invest in samplings in the supermarket. You take a little sip, you take a little bite, you try it, right? Okay, that was for free and it was good. Oh, let me give it a try. Let me buy the first package, let me eat that cheese, and and then maybe you fall in love with the cheese and you become a lifelong buyer, right? And I personally believe, like, that's me. I like an easy life. I like a no clutter life. I like streamlined. I like efficiency, and I am very well aware of decision fatigue and many of the things that are, like, overwhelming us, also in the supermarket, but also online. Um, we can't cut that if we just say, okay, I like cheese, I like this cheese, I'm going to eat that cheese until maybe someday there comes a better cheese. But I'm not going to go looking for it, and I'm not here to experiment anymore. I'm talking to mature people, okay? I'm saying that to say, build a system, record your videos, and then, like, come online, right? You find your signature style, you find your signature look, you find a way to present yourself in a certain way, and you just build upon it, because again, you trust in your expertise. Okay, the rest is just glamour magic, and that's fine too, but we don't want to distract people with shiny objects. We're actually the real deal. Okay. Good. So you build a robust system that you can rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And I'm going to tell you that this kind of system, as I said, I licensed, like, I bought a license and I got a training, just like a franchise, but for intellectual property. Intellectual property is also a topic for maybe another video, but intellectual property is the currency of the time. What do you know? That is it, right? Intellectual property, I believe, is way more valuable than physical assets, but all of it is valuable. Okay, but we are talking here from expert to expert. So you create a system around your intellectual property, and you offer people, this is what I know, this is who I am. Experience me in a deeper fashion, in a workshop, in a seminar, in a webinar. Experience me in a deeper fashion in a paid masterclass. Yeah, in a free masterclass or paid masterclass, in a container, in a room, in a Zoom room, right, where something is happening live and interactive, where people can ask you questions and you can serve them on the spot. And if they like it, they will want more. And then you actually invite them in a premium container, longer form, 3 months, 6 months, a year. Okay, good. So that is the system already. You build, you chop it up, and you help people get clear on what their problem is, that you are the solution. That's it. That's also the sales process right here. And that's the fifth thing, right? Number one was my story. Then number two was we're living in the changing of times from industrial era to digital era to identity era. Then show up in doing what you love with a little bit of personality, but I'm talking here to business people. And then we build a system around that, right? And then you continue to show up. Yeah, maybe it's a little mashed up with what I said with the YouTube, but yes, you continue to show up, and that's it, right? You build a body of work. You show up, you make it part of your job, your routine, right? It's not about comparing yourself to everything else that is going on online. This is who you are, right? This is who you are. This is your business. And we all know it. A marketplace is always saturated. Every marketplace is saturated, right? Every marketplace is saturated. There are a lot of musicians, there are a lot of writers, there are a lot of beverages and food, but people keep innovating and everyone likes a different flavor. So trust in yourself, show up, and again, sell. Okay, I always like to say selling is serving, because selling is actually where the real transformation happens, right? Selling is helping people get clear that they have a pain point, that something in their life is off. For me, in my case, it is the foundation of building a happy, healthy, successful life is health. I'm a holistic nutritionist, as I said. Health, relationships, vocation, and time and money freedom. I work on the deep aspects, very deep, the subconscious beliefs, the nervous system, the rewiring of beliefs and trauma patterns. That's my style. Okay. Then building micro habits, and then building systems, right? And then run it again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again, because it takes training to actually establish yourself, because you're literally also building yourself, as I said in the very beginning. An identity switch is a building of a new life as a new person who thinks different, who feels different, who acts different, who moves different. Yeah. Again and again creates new results. That's my expertise. Yeah. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. More fundamentals, deeper, more subtle, more refined. That's my style. Okay. That's why no matter how much content you watch, I know that it's going to change you, it's going to help you. And that's also really my intention. But the real transformation can only come after the paywall. That's just what it is. Also, let's be mature here, right? Like people share certain things online, yes, but the real transformation comes through proximity and an investment that is a universal law. There is no, there needs to happen like a balancing of scale. And in order to speak from authority, you have to earn your authority, and earning comes from paying the price, no matter what price that is. Sometimes it's sweat equity, sometimes it's time, right? And sometimes it's money. Okay, so all of these three things have to go into you earning your position. And that's why helping somebody to make a investment is actually helping them. Selling is serving. That's my mindset. That's what I stand for. I had a corporate career in sales, and I have like zero shame or limitation as a spiritual baddie, yeah, to understand the laws of this physical world, right? So we want to show up and sell to people so they can dive into your world and get the solutions that they're looking for. And that's it, right? So, with that being said, I love it here. Like, I love to do what it is that I do here. And I really hope that you can take away something. Again, I talked about my story, where I come from, right? Coming from humble beginnings, but definitely seeing my mom working her way to her top. And she has a beautiful life. And one thing that I want to say is that really the number one thing that I actually learned on my journey here with investing like hundreds of thousands of euros into my personal development, business development, traveling all over the world. As I said, I like culture, I like traveling, I like reading, I like arts and all of that stuff. I'm a showgirl. I definitely love that too. Like, I've been on stage from a very early very early in my life. I've been on stage. I liked performing. I loved it. And my maturity process had to go through understanding that I'm animated. I like that. But that's not for distraction, right? It's not the glamour magic, as I said it, in terms of selling something that is not of substance, because this is the number one trap for most people, is to want something that they didn't pay for, and to just be distracted by shiny objects, right? Today it's called shiny objects. As a witch, as a wise woman, we call it glamour magic, right? The glamour is only real if it has substance. What I'm trying to say here is that don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. Stay grounded. Stay rooted. This is where the money is. This is where the money is. This is where the real satisfaction is. Um, it's about building, and it only goes brick by brick. Okay. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm looking forward to you interacting with me. This is not a monologue, I hope. I would love to interact. So, write down in the comments what it is that you took away from this. And if you want to stay in contact, if you want to become part of my world, I have a free portion of my membership in the school community. So, if you want to be part of that, I would love to have you. This is also where I share resources and just for you to get to know me. And I'm here for actually building community of like-minded people who are here to build a legacy. Yeah, brick by brick. No fast shit. no fast, no fast money, no fast nothing. It's just really about standing in your integrity, in your authority, showing up, and really getting over yourself. You have something amazing to share. So don't get distracted by your flaws or that you don't look like an influencer, because that time is over anyways, okay? So with that being said, I'm looking forward to hear from you and see you in the next one. Bye.